Alright guys, sorry about that. We are back. Today has been a fucking... I've been all over the place today, guys. Sorry. Late as fuck. I stayed up real late last night. One of my old buddies, I haven't talked to him in a few months. He wanted to play some games, so we were playing some games last night. Stayed up pretty late. Woke up late as shit. Went to the gym late. Got lunch late. Started stream late. I never said I was good at managing my time. How's everybody doing though? What's going on, Og? Keytoy, how you guys doing? So I took a little bit of a loss last night. I guess I made the wrong decision before I went to bed. It looked like the right decision, but I guess it didn't work out. What I did before I went to bed is, let me move this over a little bit. So I took a short at 83.05. So I saw this pop up here. We saw this nice little pop, right? You can see the momentum is very little. You have a very weak momentum here. So price tried to rise. You got wicked. You just kept getting wicked. You had 5 attempts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 attempts to try to push higher, and you got wicked every single time. So seeing that this was happening, I closed my long and took a short. So I was in like a 90% long. I wasn't full size. I was pretty close though. I was 90% long. I closed my long at 83.05 for a very, very small profit, basically break even with fees. And then I went half size short. So I took a 50% size short, and basically I was instantly gratified. Second I took the short, it started dumping, which was really good. But this is while I'm sleeping, obviously. So I took the short, went to bed. I did not feel comfortable holding a long, looking at all of this resistance above price, and then going to bed. I couldn't go to bed holding a long when we were looking like this. And it was the right decision. Looking back at it, I'm not mad at myself. I'm not mad at myself for taking that short. That was a good trade. Now, was it a good trade that we lost? Yes. But was it a good trade? Yes, it was a good trade. So the short was clean. I didn't have a target because it was just an overnight hold. It was basically to maintain cash value. So it was kind of like tethering half my account, basically. But yeah, so my original long, my stop loss was below this level here. So if I would have held my long, I would have been just barely not stopped out, and then it popped. So I'd still be pretty positive on my long. But it's all good. I think it was the right decision. I think it was a good trade. We just kind of got pumped out of it. So this does look like a bulldog. But all month, I have not felt confident in like any of these, except for like the first few days of October. I have not felt confident in any of these trades. And if you guys are part of the Discord, you can see that in my trading style. So like last month, I was like, boom, full size. Boom, full size. Alright guys, I'm full size short. I'm full size long. This month, I'm like, I'm going to go half size here. Half size here. I'm going to build into this one. So all month, I've been building into trades because nothing has felt clean. This month has just been choppy. Nothing has really felt clean to me. And that's very evident in my trading style. That's very evident in my my net gain and loss. It's just not clean. This price action, you can make a lot of money in this price action. But not with my trading style. My trading style is, well, as of right now, I'm doing more of a trending style, right? this isn't trending strong enough in either direction for me to really make money trading it. Because what I've been doing, basically during this entire wave, like all of this price action here, what I've been doing and making all of my money is watching the 3-hour and the 4-hour OTS, the Momo, and all my other indicators. And when they all line up like long or short, I just take longs or shorts. But when we see price action like this, we don't really have a lot of that lineup. You had a decent lineup on this pullback here, which, as you know, I tried to trade this, and we got stopped out right before it pumped. So I missed that trade. I missed this trade due to overload. So it's been one of those months, man. It has not really gone perfectly. Nothing's gone perfectly basically this month. Everything's had like little minor details that kind of screwed my trades up. But with that said, we're still positive on the month. I think about 3 to 5%, which is pretty bad for my standard. But seeing this price action and knowing what's been going on, like with my trades, I feel very good being positive. So making money is better than losing money. Even if you make $1, it's better than losing $100. And that's a big thing that traders really need to work on is if you make $1 for the entire month, it's still better than losing 10% of your account or 5% of your account. So don't beat yourself up too much if you don't make a lot of money. Making any money is better than losing money. And I constantly had to battle with people back when I first started streaming. When people would message me on Discord and they would tell me that they're not making enough money. Even when they're trading well, they're not making enough money to motivate them to keep trading. And I kept telling them, like, dude, it doesn't matter how much you're making. As long as you're making money, it's better than losing money. If you start trading with very high leverage to try to make more money because you're not satisfied with how much you're making, then you're gonna lose money faster. So, would you rather make $1 or lose $10, or would you rather make $100 and lose $1,000? Like you really have to ask yourself at the end of the day, would you be happy with making a small amount of money over losing money? And most people are gonna say yes. If we start to bounce like off this support here, we could start to look for some longs on a bulldog play. I can't show you guys the algo today. Probably not for the rest of the week either. It's currently being worked on. I've got a lot of things, like it currently shows a lot of things that I don't want it to show, so we're not going to be showing that this week. One beautiful thing I really wanted to show you guys. This is a free indicator that we give out to our Discord members. This is the 3-day VWAP, and look at these supports and resistance. You had this 3-day VWAP close right here, right? You see that level come in. Look at this failure. You see a break of that 3-day VWAP deviation. You see that instant failure. Look at where we bounce. We bounce right off. We bounce right off that 3-day VWAP close, okay? And then we pop up, and then we close here, which gives you the 3-day VWAP right here. And then look at where that failure is. You see that pop? Boom, failure off that 3-day VWAP. Perfect test of support, perfect test of resistance. Now we're bouncing off the 3-day VWAP standard deviation, and now we're also holding VWAP. So if this can pop up here and break this high, this will be pretty bullish. And you could target that 3-day VWAP close or that standard deviation. So around 84.50, 84.70, you could see a really good play moving forward. But yeah, like I said, this is a free indicator. So anyone who's in the Discord, let me know, You should have access to this, but if you don't, just message me. But yeah, so I was in a full size long. My average was like basically where I shorted. So my average was like right here. I shorted before I went to bed. It was like a perfect play, and then it got nuked. But knowing how choppy this has been, I put a 1% stop loss on it. So we flipped short, 1% stop, and then I close. What's going on here? Hey, Sticky, I appreciate the resub, man. Back for 6 months. Welcome back. So if we're looking at Ichimoku, I know I haven't been looking at Ichimoku too much lately, but if we look at Ichimoku, we're currently in the cloud, the 3-hour cloud, so we're pretty neutral here. You are above the flat cloud here. You've got a red cloud ahead. You do have a TK cross down, so on the 3-hour, you do look more bearish than bullish here. You also are failing the OTS trail on the 3-hour. You're getting 2 sell signals back to back. You're also below that pivot, so you are. If I looked at just this chart, nothing else, this would definitely be a bearish chart. Now let's take a look. 12-hour. 12-hour, you are in a TK cross up, but you are below the Tenkan line, so you are more bearish than bullish. Massive cloud resistance ahead, so still looking very bearish on the 12-hour. 15-minute, you just had a TK cross up with that breakout. You're maintaining above the baseline. So short term, you're pretty bullish. Short term, you're bullish. Mid-term, bearish. Long-term, bearish. If I'm looking at trading light here, taking a look at the liquidity, you have basically no big liquidity above you until you get to like 84.80. You have a lot of big liquidity below you around 82. And then you have some big liquidity down by 8,000. But nothing really until you get to 84.80. You got a little bit at 88 here as well. So if I looked at just liquidity, if big buyers wanted to get filled, they would have to push the price down. But I don't really see that happening because big buyers just came in and nuked this upward after getting this beautiful bounce or beautiful breakdown here. This was a very clean breakdown. This is basically a standard bear flag play, which is why I shorted it. So if you look at, let me hide this. If you look at just this price action here, you have this breakdown here, and then you see this beautiful bear flag come in, and then you see that break of the bear flag. This is why I shorted here before I went to bed. Massive sell pressure, you break the bear flag, beautiful shorting opportunity. I shorted this, it nuked down just as expected, but some massive whale came in and bought this right up and then it barred it. So you cannot trust price action on Bitcoin right now. Be very careful trusting price action. So one beautiful thing to look at here, if you trade my dojis, this was a beautiful doji support. So you have that doji, you have that break of the bear flag, pop down to that doji, and then bark pattern back up. So right now we're currently looking at this untested doji here, and then you have, let's see, this one has been grabbed. So you grabbed this doji here. So if you guys were just trading my doji system, this month was actually very, very good for the doji system. You didn't test this doji just yet. You did test the bottom of it, I believe. Yeah, you tested the bottom of it, but you did not test the actual trigger. So if we're going to look at untested doji levels here, you have, this one's been cleared, so you cleared this doji. You have a new doji here. And then you have an untested doji here. These are your two triggers. So if you SR flip this one, you're very bullish. If you SR flip this one, you're very bearish. So those are your two levels you want to pay attention to. That one's been grabbed. You have not grabbed this, so let's see. If you SR flip If you SR flip this doji, your final target would be that doji there. This did not give you a beautiful doji up here because you got scam wicked. You got scam candled basically. But if you went to a lower time frame, you could probably grab a doji from there. So let's take a look. Yeah, you do have a slight doji right here. So let's go back to the hourly. So if you SR flip this level here, your final target would be that level there. So basically you have a range, you have your trigger, bearish target, bearish target. So today I wasn't very prepared. I know we were going to make some YouTube videos this week. I was not very prepared this week, or today, so we're not going to do anything too special today. Tomorrow, we're going to do the accumulation distribution part 2. And then Wednesday, I'm probably going to do a video on like market structure. So we're going to talk about basic market structure when you're trading trends, looking at higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, stuff like that. I've already talked about this a lot in my other videos, but we're going to go ahead and do it again just to kind of refresh. So tomorrow, accumulation distribution. Wednesday, we're going to do market structure. Sorry, guys, I haven't been keeping up with chat. I do apologize. Turnip, you said, fucking annoying. I can't trade these weird 5-minute pumps and then nothing. No, I agree, man. This month has been really annoying. I 100% agree with you. This month has been really bad compared to the last 2 months. You said I made a beautiful play on Ren last night, around 8% gain on half account. Should have let it run more, but it got choppy. That's a good take profit, man. 8% is pretty solid. What's going on, man? You said I hope we fucking break up. I think we will. We're looking pretty bullish. We got a bulldog. It's been doing a lot of random shit, definitely. Yeah. Sticky said we're breaking up. Yeah, I believe we definitely look pretty bullish with the bulldog here. What's going on, Hockey? You said 3-hour crypto Ichi above Kumo now. Flat Kumo held as support. Alright, I think I caught up. Alright, I'm caught up with chat. I just did these wrong. You guys aren't correcting me, man. I'm doing bearish when it goes up. Dude, why won't that go on the same line? That's so fucking irritating. Sorry, I'm pretty OCD when it comes to shit like that. It really drives me crazy. All right. Get rid of that. Put this back on. Boom. All right, we'll let that run. We'll see how it goes. Oh, there you go. Bulldog breaking out. I'm currently flat. I'm not in any trades. It doesn't really matter to me, Og. I don't really care. As long as it's clean, I can trade it. I don't care if Bitcoin goes up or down. I can make money both ways. I prefer it goes up because you're compounding your gains. Because if Bitcoin goes up, you're getting USD value and you're getting Bitcoin value. If Bitcoin goes down, you're losing USD value, but you're gaining Bitcoin value. So Bitcoin going up is always the bet. I want Bitcoin to go up. You make more money when Bitcoin goes up. Being bullish is a lot easier than being bearish. That's in basically every single market. Being bullish is easier than being bearish. And I say that as a perma bear. I'm really bearish usually. So how much until we SR flip this? That's about 1%. So scary thing is you could get faked out here. So if we pop up an SR flip this, you still have that 3-day VWAP close and you have that standard deviation band of VWAP. So you're going to have a lot of volume resistance here. You don't have a lot of price resistance there, but you're going to have a lot of volume resistance. So you're going to have a lot of sellers coming in up here. So trading this range is really neutral. If you took longs here, you could easily get stopped out if you have your stop too close. You basically wouldn't want to stop out above this bearish trigger. So if you took a long here, your stop loss would have to be like 2% maybe. If you took a short here, your stop loss would have to be about 1.5%. So I guess the short would give you a better stop loss, and it would give you a better target. But it looks pretty bullish for right now. Until you kind of SR flip this right here, the 3-day VWAP and that trigger, you're pretty bullish. So Ethereum is already breaking out. Ethereum is failing the 3-day VWAP though. You can see this 3-day VWAP close from way back here. It wasn't perfect, but you saw a lot of distribution come in around that 3-day VWAP close. Let's do that same thing for Ethereum here. So let's go. Let me close this. Hey, Kilgore, what's going on, man? So this doji was grabbed beautifully, almost a perfect grab. All these dojis were grabbed. You haven't grabbed this one here. Gonna have to go down to a 15-minute to grab this one here. Problem is, this one doesn't really have any triggers. So we have that failure there on Bitcoin. You don't really have that on Ethereum. You're already past it. Look at the difference here. Look at Bitcoin. You still have that resistance here. And look at Ethereum. You've already cleared that resistance completely. So that same level on Ethereum would be here, this doji. You've already destroyed that doji. Very different charts here. Very different. I'm still on a 15. Oops. Let me go back to an hourly here. I don't like grabbing the 15-minute levels. They're not as clean as the hourly levels. Yeah, so look at this on Ethereum. So this was beautiful here. If you guys have been keeping up with my stream for a very long time, you guys know I go over these levels all the time. And I really hope you guys are starting to use this in kind of your trading, because I think it will definitely benefit you guys. I don't draw these levels too much on stream anymore because I can visualize them without drawing them. And if I drew them on my charts, my charts get really sloppy like this. But I'll draw these every now and then just to kind of refresh you guys. But this is a beautiful example of kind of what I do with my price action trading. So if you guys watched my pivot video on YouTube, this is a pivot here. You have a beautiful buy pressure pivot. So you see a buy pressure pivot come in here, you acted as support, you popped up, and then you got nuked. Once this buy pressure was flipped, this becomes sell pressure. And now look exactly where we're failing is based on that sell pressure along with that doji. So you have that doji acting as the top of that sell pressure, or buy pressure, which is now sell pressure. And now we are getting nuked here on Ethereum, failing that sell pressure. So sadly, I caught this a little too late. We probably could have shorted that, but we just caught it right before the trade happened. So if this pops up here and then starts to kind of fail, you could short this with a tight stop loss, and we'll see if it gives us a play here. Bitcoin's nuking, is it? Oh wow, it is. So we just tapped our doji here. We just grabbed that doji. So this doji is support until flipped. So that level that I just went over, you just saw what I just went over in the beginning of stream happening live. So that is acting as support until flipped. So you got wicked a little bit. You got wicked by about 0.4%, but it's still support. So until that's flipped, you are still support. Now, if it is flipped, that is your bearish trigger. Your target would be about 78. You could also target this like doji here, which I actually did not see. I thought that was grabbed here, so that was not grabbed. So you still have a doji here that was not grabbed. So you still have another support. Let me update that chart. I did not see that doji earlier. He said, you can see the same resistance coming in on Ethereum BTC pair, just to confirm. Hey, Sparks, what's going on, man? Let's pull up my 3-day VWAP here. So yeah, look at that. Perfect failure of the 3-day VWAP on Ethereum. Bitcoin failing VWAP. You're still above your lower deviation, so you're still slightly bullish. Or not slightly bullish, but you're not fully bearish. What was I doing before I got distracted? Oh yeah, I was marking this. So let me finish marking this up. Oh, you know what I can do? Let me much easier. All right. You also have some like little levels in here. So if you didn't want to hold all the way through, you do have some little levels in this distribution that you could use, but that's the overall 1 hour level. Maybe something irrelevant, but I've been checking a wall stuck between 72 and 73 in the last 3 to 4 days on BitMEX. But it was like 3 or 4 million, and now it's almost 40 million. I know it means nothing. I don't trade walls. Walls don't mean nothing. Walls are definitely helpful. You said it's on... Oh, is it this right here? This only goes to 75, so it's not going to show me. What did I have this set at? Was it at 20? I think it was at 20. You said it's at 40 million? Let me take a look at BitMEX here. Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. 47 million, 40 million. That's not that big, though, because look at 8,000. If you look at the BitMEX order... I'm on BitMEX right now. If you look at the BitMEX order book, if you sort by $250 grouping, the 8,000 to 8,250 has 85 million on the buy side. So to get below 8,000, there's going to need to be over 100 million cells. It's weird to see it that far from price. Yeah, it definitely is. It doesn't mean it's going to be filled. It's kind of like looking at a gap, right? You could have gaps that are really far from price. It doesn't mean they're going to get filled. The bearish trigger here lines up with the ribbon. The current failure lines up with the midline. Midline's failing price here. You also have a resistance on the auto SR. Look at how different Ethereum and Bitcoin are here. You have that massive retrace on Bitcoin. It's just a bull flag on Ethereum. So Ethereum BTC is still rising. Hey Sneaky, what's going on, man? You catch any of that? I'm not trading any altcoins right now. So no, I didn't catch ZRX. I got kicked off Binance, so there's not much altcoins that I can trade. I mean, I could get on the US exchange. I don't really feel like doing all that right now. I don't feel like KYCing and doing all that shit. Coinbase doesn't really have really good fees, so Coinbase is kind of out of the picture as well. So Coinbase is raising their fees too, if you can fucking believe that. We have a doji here. It already got grabbed. So it already acted as resistance. He gave you a perfect short. You have a doji here that did not get grabbed. And then you have one way back here. That's what you're looking at here for Ethereum. You have a range until one of your triggers is broken or flipped. Coinbase has scam fees? Yeah, really, dude. Their fees are ridiculous. It was 0% for limit orders on Coinbase when I opened my account. Yeah, don't they still charge you for limit orders? It's not even like a rebate thing like all the other exchanges. They're so fucking behind the times, dude. I can't believe they still have any volume. I cannot believe it. Look at this fucking price action, dude. This is so disgusting. Failure. Failure. Retrace. Retrace. If you guys are wondering why I'm not trading so actively, just take one look at the chart and you'll know why. I don't trade shit like this. This is not my style of trading. I like clean trends, nice moves. I don't like shit like this. Now, I really need to start paying more attention to altcoins. I know I keep saying that. I keep fucking just... I'm locked in on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because these altcoins are pretty damn trendy. My strategy would probably be more profitable trading altcoins, to be honest. If I used my strategy on like Ripple or Tron or ADA, I would probably make more money. So what I should probably do is I haven't been using my high risk account because I'm saving my high risk account for my bot. But what I could do is I could hop on my high risk account and start trading these altcoins on there just to kind of separate the strategies. So like only trade altcoins on the high risk and then trade what I'm typically used to, the Ethereum, Bitcoin on my main. I could probably do that. If I traded these, I would literally just be doing my normal strategy, Momo OTS 4 hour. You see that black to white, you see the bullish Momo, you flip long, and then you just hold it, and then you start taking profit. So right now you'd be long. You wouldn't be long too heavy, probably like half size, because you do have some weak momentum coming in. Ripple looked really good. You had that black to white. You had the flip on the Momo. You could have longed here. Really nice breakout. So how big are these moves here? Yeah, 5%. Yeah, I could definitely be making a lot of money on these. I'll probably definitely start looking to trade these on my high risk account. ADA looks like it's entering a short pretty soon. So if ADA flips here, white to black, and then you see that bearish flip on the Momo, that's going to be entering a short. You would just put your stop loss like above that high or something, and you just ride it down. Lay off the coke, yeah, right. Sorry, that was me blowing my nose, not me snorting anything. Probably sounds about the same over the mic. Sneaky, you said, trust you operate in a space that long without major breach. That's why I use them as my fiat ramp. Trust. You operate in the space that long without... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're talking about Coinbase. You know, I'm with you. I'm with you. Altcoins have looked a lot more trendy. 100%. They definitely are. I think they have some volume due to their debit card. When people use the card, it sells crypto on the open market. Honestly, it sucks that the fees hurt retail traders like me with smaller accounts. But to play devil's advocate, can't the increased fees be a positive thing because Coinbase is basically making way more on the fees from the orders that whales put in, right? That's not positive for traders though. That's only positive for Coinbase itself. Sparks, you said Doge is worth looking at. Take a look at it. XLM follows Ripple. Yeah, they're basically almost the same coin. Ripple is the only one I've been invested in. Interested in Swell in November. Feels fairly safe at the moment. Not even sharing it, rude, yeah. Leading into Swell, yeah, I hear you. I've heard a lot about the Swell thing. Let's take a look at Doge. Yeah, Doge looks pretty solid. So like I said, same strategy. Momo goes bullish, OTS turns white. You would have went long somewhere around here, so you'd still be long. You are losing momentum though, you're flipping bearish. So I'd probably start taking profit. So you would have had like a 10% move there, like 26 to 30. 15%. What has the most data here on Doge? Is it Bittrex? Yeah, Bittrex has got a lot of data. Yeah, weekly looks pretty good. You have that black to white. You have that bullish flip on the Momo. You're still below a lot of resistance though. So you're definitely not like in a 100% uptrend here. This is like bottom forming. This is like a bottom forming. This isn't an uptrend. But seeing that Doge likes to scam pump, you're definitely in for a scam pump pretty soon. Hey, Moneybag, what's going on, man? Doge is one of those coins where you just wait for it to bleed. You wait for it to bleed and then you just buy it up. Wait for it to bleed, buy it up. So yeah, looks like you could just buy it here and just hope that it's a cyclical coin like it looks like. And you could definitely see some returns. Pretty much all of those pumps were caught by my strategy. Flip, flip. Same thing here. Flip, flip. This one flipped a little late. Same thing though. So look at the difference between like something like this and something like this. These are above the trail. They're above the 50. They're above pivots. They're like 100% bullish. They're trending upward. These are just forming bottoms, and I'll zoom in to give you a better look. So these are like bottom forming. These are not fully flipping in uptrends. You got to know when to trade them differently. Bitcoin's back above VWAP already. Doge is a great coin for bots to trade, but you have to be willing to wait 6 to 12 months. Yeah. What a scam move. You gotta love Bitcoin, man. That's why I'm just sitting on my hands right now, guys. I'm really not trading that heavily. Our monthly report for October is not going to be very good. But I don't really care, to be honest. We've already had 2 massive months, August and September. October is just kind of a little bit of a pullback. Well, not even a pullback, because we're not losing any money. It's just, we're not on track. We're not continuing that massive uptrend. So once October's over, we're going to release a quarterly report with our monthly report. I haven't released the September report on Twitter just yet. I still need to finish the website page. But if you're in Discord, it's been live since it was finished. We also did it on stream too, so it's pretty much public. It's just not like released on Twitter. But yeah, once we're finished with October, we're going to do a quarterly report as well. So August, September, October is going to be our quarter. It's going to be a weird quarter because it's not lining up with the actual quarters throughout the year. So we're like 1 month off, because the actual quarter we'd be starting a quarter now, right? So it'd be October, November, December. That would be the final quarter of the year. But October is going to be our Q1. So we're going to be August, September, October as Q1. And then Q2 is going to be November, December, January. Bob, I'm using Restream. I'm restreaming YouTube and Twitch. It's only good for Coinbase, but doesn't that kind of hint at them expecting more money and volume coming in down the road? No, not really. If they're raising fees, it's probably because they need cash and they're hurting on money. Raising fees is never like something that you do to get more people to join your platform. That's just not a good business decision. Nobody's ever going to look at, oh, Coinbase just raised fees, I'm going to join Coinbase. So raising fees is kind of like a bad business decision for getting in new customers. Yeah, so if you're partnered on Twitch, you can't do it. I'm not partnered, so I can do whatever the fuck I want. Not exactly whatever I want, but you know what I mean. Yeah, so this acted as a beautiful support. So stupid, 0 fees, get the crypto in the door, then charge for add-on services. Yeah. I guess I'm just looking at it how the casinos like to raise minimum bets on table games during the weekends. No, I get what you're saying. But it's very different when you're talking about like an exchange that has massive competitors. The reason casinos can do it, because casinos don't have massive amounts of competitors. Unless you're talking about like Las Vegas. Like around me, we have 1 casino. They can do whatever the fuck they want. It's like a monopoly. Or actually, we have 2 casinos. So we have 2 casinos. One's like really high class, one's like pretty low class, and they can kind of do whatever the fuck they want because there's only 2 of them. But with crypto exchanges, there's how many? There's dozens. So it's kind of like a Robinhood type thing. Robinhood releases 0 fees. It takes a long time for the market to catch up, and the market's finally like, fuck, man, Robinhood is taking all of our customers. And what did they just all do? One by one, like dominoes, they all lowered their fees to 0. The orange line is a 100 EMA? No, the orange line is a 50. 50 EMA. EMA. Exponential. Casinos put the minimum bet up because there is a demand for it from the players. Players didn't want it. Yeah, so that's exactly what I mean. So you have to think about it in a basic economic standpoint. Casinos have very low supply, very high demand. When you have very low supply, very high demand, basic economics states that you can raise prices and you'll still be okay. So the difference with Coinbase, there is very high supply, very mediocre demand. So raising prices is very bad. It goes against the basics of economics. The basics of economics states that if you have very high supply and mediocre or low demand, you cannot raise prices. AKA prices are fees. So them raising fees is very bad business. Whoever the fuck made that decision on their board should be fired. There's 2 basics to economics that people need to understand when you're looking at just overall markets. Low supply, high demand means prices should rise. Look at it as like oil. So like if there's like war breaking out in the Middle East, which we have currently happening, if wars break out in the Middle East and the supply of oil gets kind of cut down because of all these wars, then the price is going to rise because demand is staying flat. So demand is staying flat and demand might even be rising. That's going to raise prices. If supply is very high and demand is very low, then prices should decrease. This is the basic things you have to understand when it comes to like markets or really any market. Any market. High supply, low demand, high demand, low supply. If you're a trader, people constantly they ask me how do I learn all this stuff? Like what books do you read? You shouldn't just be reading like trading books. You should be learning about like basic markets, just like capitalism in general, like how people think in capitalist markets, auction theory, stuff like there's other concepts that will help you in trading. That's why so many people come from poker and they do very well in trading. They don't read a bunch of fucking candlestick books and all this other shit. They do very well because they have a very good understanding of risk management. And risk management is fucking huge in trading. I'm not saying don't read the candlestick books. That's how I trade. I didn't come from a poker background. I don't have a massive understanding of risk management coming from poker. So I read all the candlestick books and that's how I learned. But there's different ways that you can approach trading. And if you come from like a poker background, you approach trading from a very good understanding of risk management. And that's why a lot of poker people do very well. Where do I tell my mom to buy Bitcoin other than Coinbase? Seriously? Coinbase is the front door. That's the problem. Coinbase is like the mainstream front door. Coinbase is like the most casual, 100%. It's the most casual. It's like the Robinhood of crypto, except for it has way worse fees. Let's see. You said the trading fee will be cheaper, but I don't know what the deposit fee for the fiat. You said you didn't read a single book. You learned everything from Twitch streamers. There's no problem with that though. Like learning from like, I wouldn't call myself a mentor, but like learning from mentors or learning from traders who have been trading for years and they're kind of telling their secrets, I guess, or telling their techniques. There's no problem with that. It's like the same thing with like college. You're like learning from a professor. And trust me, I'm not calling myself a professor or a mentor. I'm just kind of giving you an analogy. I learned about books in my history class. Never seen one though. Yeah, right? So, see, I learned differently. I learned by reading books like that. So I read a bunch of candlestick books. I read like day trading books. Basically just like the hardcore technique stuff. But that's how I learn. I learn by doing stuff like that. We just barred it up and barred it back down. Now we're barring back up. If you guys are wondering why I'm not trading, here you go. This is why I'm not trading. Could I have made money trading this? Yeah, sure I could have. Is it worth my heartache and risk? Nah, not worth it. So like, if I did very bad in September, or if I just lost money in September, I probably would be trading much more actively. But because I'm sitting on very heavy gains from the past 2 months, I do not have to trade heavily here. If I end this month with like 5-10% profit, I'll be happy. It's not going to be very good, but I'll be happy with that. We're currently at, let me see. I took like a 0.5% loss last night. But we are currently at... Yeah, so we're only at 3% right now. I'm at a 3% profit on the month. So really, we're not doing anywhere near what we did last month. But like I said at the start of the stream, 3% profit's better than 5% drawdown or 5% negative. 5% loss. Can you make candlesticks for crypto and include the bulldog? A lot of the charting books I've read have seemed like not directly relevant to the whole market opens, market closes. Has to be adapted a bit to crypto. I use the same patterns in crypto that I learned for equities. And I really don't agree with people that say that you can't use certain candlestick patterns because crypto is 24/7. There are very little patterns that I wouldn't use. Most of the patterns that I use in crypto are like kind of reversal patterns. So like dojis, dragonflies, dark cloud cover, pivots, engulfings, hammers, morning star doji, evening star doji. All the candles that I would use in equities, I still use in crypto. Yeah, hanging man, gravestone. All those kind of doji-esque candles are the ones that I use. The only ones you can't really use are like the abandoned babies. There's a bunch of other weird ones that have like gaps, that have like massive gaps. You can't use those. But those are so fucking rare that it doesn't even matter. You wouldn't even see those in crypto anyway. You can use them on the CME chart if you see one, but we don't really see them very actively. Yeah, man, I've been telling you that for almost over a year now. We've talked a lot about this, man. I've tried to help you kind of alter your strategy. I don't see exactly what's going on in your trades, so I can't help you like 100%. But from what I've heard from like your messages, it seems like you need to be trading higher time frames, wider stops. Maybe even, I don't know, I wouldn't get into hedging, honestly, because hedging is a little more advanced. But yeah, you probably need to be trading wider stops, higher time frames. Maybe even start laddering or pyramiding. Pyramiding might be huge for you because you get stopped out a lot when your trades are going well. If you started pyramiding and raising your stop losses, it might help you a lot. We'll do a video this week on pyramiding and DCAing. What's the difference? We'll do a video. Well, let's say like Thursday or Friday. We'll do that. I started pyramiding a lot more. I don't DCA really at all anymore. I started pyramiding more though. Four-hour bull div on the MACD. What are you looking at a bull div from? Oh, you're looking at this, I believe. Yeah, it's a very, very slight bull div. Very, very slight. It's a histogram bull div as well. It's not a MACD line bull div. It's a histogram bull div, which is not bad. Yeah, we also have a bull div on the Momo. This is just not a pattern that I've... what is this? You know what I mean? This is not clean. This is what happens when you have 3 daily dojis in a row. So when you start seeing price action like that, you might as well just go to the daily and just wait for a daily candle. Because these 3 daily dojis in a row, it gives you shit like that we're seeing. I like to use staggered stops. So by staggered stops, do you mean like, okay, I'm at 1,000 contracts right now. I'm going to close 500 here and 500 here? Is that what you mean? So like say you're in a short, you put like 500 here, 500 here. Looks like a bulldog that ate a pair of shoes. Yeah, no, it does look like a bulldog, but it's definitely... It is pretty damn ugly. You still have a sell delta of 12 million. You had 64 million sellers come in during that candle. And you got bought up pretty heavily, but you still have a sell delta. So the sellers are still strong here. You're still below the POC as well. So if you look at the POC from this entire range, the point of control, you're still below it. So you're still bearish. I mean 100, 200, 300, 400 contracts at 4 different levels. I gotcha. Yeah, so basically what I said, but you're using a laddering system kind of. So you like short here and then do like 100, 200, 300, 400. Yeah, it's a good idea. I've never used that trading style, but that's a good idea. I've seen people use it. There's a lot of people on crypto Twitter that post screenshots that use that kind of style. Is it wrong that I'm bullish on Bitcoin because of the old action? If Bitcoin was really weak, you'd be seeing alt pumps. But aren't you seeing alt pumps here? Like, aren't there a lot of altcoins pumping? We're in the cloud 420, yeah. Can you give a quick 10-second explanation of what? Oh, I don't know what pyramiding is. Pyramiding, the 10-second explanation, it's the opposite of DCAing. So dollar cost averaging is adding on to losing positions. Pyramiding is adding on to winning positions. I struggle with trading paralysis a lot when I stop trading for a week or two. Like, I feel I must choose the best trade. That's kind of what I'm going through right now. I'm going through that right now. There are no clear trades, so I'm just not really trading. I'm trading like here and there, and they're actually most of them ended up losing. So it'd be better if I just didn't trade at all. I started this month, my very first trade, we were up like 10%. And then since then, I've just been bleeding. So I took one good trade and I should have just stopped trading because this month has been such dog shit. Dollar cost averaging could be adding to a winning position as also. Yeah, but when you think of dollar cost averaging, the majority of people, when they hear that, they think about martingaling type dollar cost averaging. So martingaling would be like doubling on your losing trades. That's what the majority of people think about when they think of DCAing. Real DCAing, I'll go over all of these in our video. Real DCAing is, let's say what's today, Monday? So let's say I set aside $100 every Monday. So every Monday, I'm going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. That is dollar cost averaging. So no matter what the price is, I don't give a shit if it's up, if it's down, if it's sideways, don't care. Every Monday, I'm going to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. That's dollar cost averaging. So the fallacy here, which I just kind of made it worse. The fallacy of dollar cost averaging is the majority of people, when they hear dollar cost averaging, they think it's when you're losing a trade and you keep adding on to it. That's not the case, but that is what most people think of. So that's why I said it like that. When you're losing a trade and you keep adding on to it, that is kind of like martingaling. So martingaling is, I buy 200 contracts, I'm losing, I double. I buy another 200, then I buy 400, then I buy 800, then I buy 1600. That's martingaling. And that can actually be very profitable in crypto, but it can also be very, very destructive. Doubling down, exactly. Yeah, so I showed that back in our old Discord. We did a trading competition. I martingaled for like the first week, and I was destroying everybody in the competition. I was basically double nearly everybody. But then I lost one trade. I lost one trade, and I lost like 60% of my account. And then I switched to my normal trading strategy, and I caught back up. Yeah, exactly, man. Adding on to losing trades is horrible. I've made it a goal of mine to never add on to losing trades unless I'm building a position. So there's a difference between building a position and adding on to losing trades. So let's say I take 50% position on Bitcoin right now on a long, and it starts to go down. I take another 50%. That's not adding on to a losing trade. That's building a trade. Once I'm at 100%, once I'm at my normal size, then if I keep adding on to the losing trade, that's bad. But if I'm building the position, that's not adding on to a losing trade. There's different strategies there. I lost my first 2 trading accounts adding on to losers. Yeah, it's one of the biggest mistakes that rookies make. It's one of the biggest mistakes. If you're new to trading, almost every single trader does that. I had to learn to sit on my hands. No trade is best trade. It's uncertain. Yeah, definitely. No trade is a trade. When you're losing a trade and you keep adding, oh yeah, I already read that. Get liquidated for sure. I call that a staggered entry. It's only when you start adding more buy orders. Yeah, exactly. Once you get over your normal size, that's when you're digging a hole. I don't add on to losers anymore. Once I'm at full size, unless I'm building a big position, like if I'm building like a 2x, 3x long-term trade, I never add on to losers. Never add on to losers. Cut your losses. You can pyramid into your winners. If you really want to hold it longer, you can add on to your winners, and you will do much better as a trader. Now, don't add on to your winners like when price is starting to fucking dump on you. Like, there's times where you want to take profit and you want to add on to winners. Like, for example, if you took this breakout here, let's say you longed here, and then you saw it break down here, this is not a time to add on to a winner. That is a time to close your trade. You could have added on to your win here, not here. There is a big difference between adding onto your trade and like taking profit. You really don't want to be adding on during moves like this. You want to be adding on when price is going your way, very strong momentum, very clean volume, like helping you. So like here, if you take this bullish trigger, so let's say we SR flip this, you could take a trade and you could add on to it probably on like a pullback, maybe like a second pullback, but you don't want to be adding on to it like if we're pulling back and breaking the trigger. The best place to add on is the first pullback. First pullback of a breakout is the best place to add. So like if you got in the long and you see the first pullback, this would technically be the first pullback, but let's say that didn't happen. This is your first major pullback, your first distribution. You could add on during the first pullback. And then if the first pullback fails, you just let go of your trade. The reason why the first pullback is one of the best places is because everybody who missed this move is going to add on here. They're not going to add on, they're going to enter. They're all going to enter here. That's why a bull flag is a bull flag. And that's why a bear flag is a bear flag. Because you have the breakout, you have the first pullback, and then you have the breakout. So if you're smart and you got in on the breakout, let's say you traded the break of this trend, you could add on the first pullback and then let go of it on the second pullback. First pullbacks are very good add-on points. So kind of like here, if you would have entered for this breakdown, you could have added on the first pullback and you could have let go of your trade. You only want to use the first pullback technique on like flags though, like bull flags, bear flags, stuff like that. Accumulation, distribution. Yeah, there's nothing really to understand, man. It's just dog shit price action. I wouldn't look too hard into it. There's nothing to really understand about it. It's just complete dog shit price action. I don't waste my brain power trying to find patterns and shit like that. It's just dog shit price action. There's just nothing you can do. If you're a scalper, you love shit like this. I'm not a scalper. So I don't like shit like this. So like if you're a 1 minute trader, there's a whole lot of trades here. I don't trade this shit. And if you're a 1 minute trader using the OTS, you can see how clean these pivots are. You can trade the pivots. Buy the blue pivots, sell the orange pivots. I don't have time to sit here and stare at a chart like this and trade the 1 minute. We're seeing a perfect blue pivot test right here on the 5 minute. You have another blue pivot here which pushed us up. But now we're currently failing the trail. So a lot of different signals happening on the indicators. The weekly still looks pretty good. You did close a morning star It's not a really strong morning star. You typically want to see it break the entire candle. We did not break the high of that doji. We broke it and then we failed. So you still have a lot of resistance on the high of that doji. We also have that pivot there. You saw that perfect failure. You see this pivot come in. It acted as resistance, support, support, and then resistance. Weekly is signaling a trap. We do have a trap coming in on the weekly. We could definitely see a breakout to like 10,000, but we don't have a lot of volume just yet. Looks like we're going to retrace the retrace of the retrace of the retrace. The falling star from 14K called the top. On what, the daily or the weekly? Oh, the weekly? Yeah, right here. Yeah, me and Sticky both sold during this candle. We let go of our largest crypto holdings. I sold mine at 12.7. I think he sold his around like 13K. So we didn't catch the top perfectly, but we damn near caught the top. Looking at a weekly chart, we damn near caught it. I still have not put my money back in. I'm still in about 50% of what I had at 12.7. So looking at a weekly, I damn near sold the top, which is beautiful. I'm really happy with that sell. It lined up perfectly with Binance closing too. That was one of our Discord trades too, so if you guys were in Discord back then. Yeah, weekly's still bearish. It's kind of scary. But we are bouncing off the 50 EMA. You have the 8 EMA as resistance. If we get back above the 8 on the weekly, we're looking really good. You can see the last time we broke the 8, it started the massive bull run. And it likes to ride the 8 all the way up. You can see it rides the 8 all the way up. Then it acted as resistance. Then you had your sideways consolidation. Then resistance, 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 break support. Support, 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 and then resistance, and then break. This is kind of choppy resistance, but you can see close below, just close above, close below, and then you broke. The 8 EMA was one of my very first trading strategies that I ever did when I first started trading years ago. I was trading the 8 EMA, and I think it was the 21 or the 20. I can't remember exactly which one it was. It was one of the 20s. 21, 22, something like that. Completely off topic. If any of you guys are gamers and you have Windows 10, if you guys have been downloading the updates for Windows 10 lately, they fucking turned on mouse acceleration randomly on your Windows settings. And I've had that shit on for like a month, I think. And dude, I was playing Counter-Strike the other day, or like the past month, and I was just dog shit. I was completely terrible. And I was like, why the fuck am I doing so bad? Like, I'm pretty good at Counter-Strike, and I was dog shit. And just like yesterday, I realized my fucking mouse acceleration has been on for like a month, dude. And I turned that shit off. In my first 3 games back on Counter-Strike, I dropped 30 kills on like every single game. And if you guys play competitive Counter-Strike, 30 kills is like pretty hard to get. 30 kills is like you were slaying the entire game. I had kids on the other team thinking I was cheating and shit. I was fucking headshotting everybody with... Because I'm a scout player. I really like using the scout and like the op and stuff. I was just destroying people, dude. Just scout headshots for days. These kids thought I was cheating. It's hilarious. I think it's even funnier because I have a Guy Fawkes mask. You know, the anonymous symbol? I had the Guy Fawkes mask before the anonymous shit got like really big. And I've never changed my Steam picture. It's been the Guy Fawkes mask for like 10 years or something, like a long time. And everyone thinks I'm fucking that anonymous bullshit. You know the anonymous hacking group that got popular like years ago? That's my symbol. That's my logo on Steam. People always give me shit for it. You have 2K plus hours? Yeah, I've got like 2,600 or some shit. I was a global elite back in the day when I used to play every single fucking day. And then I dropped down to like DMG when they redid the ranking system. They made the ranking system harder, and I dropped down to like DMG Eagle. And now I'm like Gold Nova. Dude, I haven't played in fucking forever. I play like once a week. I'm complete dog shit compared to what I used to be. I'm literally a Nova 1 right now. It's the lowest rank in Counter-Strike I've ever been. Lowest rank I've ever been. I'm not happy about it. But now that I know the last month was fucking mouse acceleration, I could probably get a lot higher. Sorry, completely off topic. But nothing to really talk about here. We already did our analysis. You were global a few years ago? Yeah, I was global, I think, 2 years ago. I used to play like every single day. CSGO is so good to de-stress from trading. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it's a de-stressor. I think it's the first time I've ever heard somebody say CSGO is a de-stressor. That game is fucking brutal if you have bad teammates. Or if you're just having a bad game. It's not as bad as like Fortnite or like Call of Duty. Those games are really stressful. But CSGO can definitely be cancer for sure. Want to look at crude? The mute button is essential in CSGO? Yeah, really, dude. It was my second game. I was playing Overpass. And we were getting our asses kicked. So you always have that one teammate who thinks he's like doing very well and like you guys are losing or he's losing because of you guys. So he's just running his mouth. The dude ended the game on the bottom of our team. And I ended the game with like 32 kills. And we lost by like fucking 10 rounds, and I still had 32 kills. And this kid was running his mouth like the whole game. It's like, dude, some people just gotta know like when to let it go. Like you're having a bad game, man. You don't gotta run your mouth, you know. Yeah, crude looks pretty decent. You're breaking a downtrend here. You have a lot of fundamentals going on with crude because you have you got a lot of wars going on, breaking out in the Middle East. You just had Turkey invade Syria. I really don't want to talk about it too much on stream. It's pretty hardcore, but there's like videos being released of them like executing people on the street. Dude, it's pretty hardcore. And most likely Iran or Russia or somebody, Saudi Arabia, they're probably going to step in pretty soon. So once one of those countries steps into this battle, it's probably going to hurt the supply of oil. So like we were talking about earlier, basic economics, supply gets hurt, demand stays the same, price is going to rise. So you could definitely see an increase in the price of oil pretty soon. You do have a doji support still acting as support. You had a triple bottom off that doji. So as long as that level is held, you're still pretty bullish here. You do have a lot of accumulation. You had that markdown here, and now you're accumulating. So you could buy the low of the accumulation towards the high of the accumulation. Now if we look at our indicators here, let's go to our indicators. Yeah, we have a beautiful pivot basically right on that doji that I marked earlier. You're still not bullish on the Momo. You're still not bullish on your OTS. So you're still bearish. I wouldn't start buying this until you get bullish on the indicators. Still bearish on the weekly. Weekly has a slight bull div coming in though. So I think it's bullish. It's just not ready just yet. Activision wants a strong earnings call. Let's take a look. Activision weekly looks really good. You have accumulation breakout. You flipped the accumulation. The weekly looks really good. You would target this pivot here. That is the price, your long-term target. 70.50. Very nice accumulation break here. You could play some long-term calls for 70.50. But if the earnings are bad, not going to look too good. Blizzard is getting hit hard right now with bad PR too. But I don't think the bad PR is strong enough to fuck up their earnings just yet. But they are getting hit with some bad PR. USD, what's CHF? I've never even heard of that. USD CHF. That's a Swiss franc. Pretty bullish. You have a nice uptrend here. Very strong momentum. You need to break these pivots though. You can see that pivot acted as perfect resistance. You had resistance there, resistance there. Once these pivots are broken, you're basically entering new momentum phase. So pay attention to that. The weekly is also starting an uptrend. Looks pretty good. Yeah, so I'd say slightly bullish on this for sure. Yeah, beautiful pivot failure. So you have resistance. Once that's broken, you could look really good to retest this distribution here. Probably like 102. It's almost the same thing. I think we were looking at crude. You have very nice accumulation here on Bitcoin. So once this breaks the accumulation, we're looking really good to go higher. I think we looked at BNB last week. It wasn't too good. Let me get rid of all these. Oh, BNB looks a lot better now. Daily's breaking out. Very nice pivot. You have that black to white. Very strong flipping momentum. This looks like a bottom forming. You're not starting an uptrend just yet, but you are forming a bottom. You are forming an accumulation support. But once you put in that higher low, you could really start to see a markup. Your final target would be like these pivots up here. USDT still has a lot of resistance, so it's definitely not ready just yet. Mana starting to climb. Keep an eye on Mana. Yeah, Mana's at 33 cents. Looking pretty good. It's trying to break this downtrend here. If you guys are altcoin traders, just keep an eye on the scanners in Discord. We've got a lot of scanners in Discord. They're free to you guys. We've got bottom forming scanners, breakout scanners, squeezing scanners, all kinds of stuff, man. It's probably been calling out massive amounts of winning trades, but I don't really shill that too hard. But if you guys are in those channels, you can definitely see the gains. Like, here's an example I can show you. These are potential breakouts. Look at how many coins it's been calling out recently. This is just today, dude. I'm still scrolling. This is just today. This is just today, boys. Okay, so this is the start of today. Hold on, where is... Here, this is the start of today. All of these coins. I'm still going. Still going. This is just today. Alright, there you go. So that is potential breakouts. We have bottom forming. So these aren't as active. This is from today. So these are all today. We had like CDT, gas, QKC, AST, QKC again, QLC, AST again, BQX, POE, GTO, XZC, Storm, IOTX, EDO, GTO, tons of coins here. And then we have like the default scanner that looks for squeezes, relative volume. So if you want to see things that are popping in like major volume, you got stuff here, relative volume 2.4, 2.4, 1.9, 2.5. But yeah, potential breakouts, you've got huge movers here. Big mover, big mover. You have downside big movers too. 5.5 relative volume, 5.0, 4.8. So like I said, if you guys are altcoin traders, please take advantage of these scanners. We didn't make them for no reason. I don't trade altcoins too heavily, so I don't really use them right now. Once I get back into the altcoin market, which I probably will pretty soon, once all this exchange bullshit stops going on, I'll definitely start using them again. QLC BTC daily looks like I found a bottom. Yeah, the bot called it. Yeah, take a look. QLC. Yeah, looks good. And if we look back at like August, it's going to take me forever to scroll back, so I'm not going to do it. But if we look back at like August 12th or like September 9th, it probably called these bottoms here. And it definitely called these breakouts because our big mover scanner calls anything that's moving very heavily on percentage or volume-wise. So you will be alerted to anything that's moving, that's moving heavily. And our Discord trial right now is only $50, guys. $50 for 1 month. You get 5 free indicators. You get the scanners that I was just showing you. You get access to all of our trades. We're available for you guys to ask questions or just hang out basically all day. So I think it's a fucking steal, man. I'm not going to show you guys too hard, but it's there for you guys if you guys ever want to join. Still not a whole lot going on here. Ethereum looks more bearish than Bitcoin. Bitcoin retraced. Ethereum still distributing. Probably could see a failure here down to the trigger. Ripple's been doing pretty good here on the daily since the new contract started. About 30%. It's not too bad. Tron's been doing pretty good too. Yeah, Tron, look at this. Look at this SR flip here. You have that doji resistance, broke out. Now you're trying to pull back. If it can hold that 3445. Oh, this is Ripple. Sorry, not Tron. Looks pretty good on Ripple. Tron is currently failing your doji. Entering a consolidation or distribution phase. EOS is also failing. Entering a distribution as well. ADA is also failing. Beautiful failure there. Litecoin not doing too good either. Back down to your support doji. Ethereum is actually pretty bullish here. Ethereum looks pretty good. But alright guys, we're entering 2 hours on the stream. I'm going to start wrapping it up here. Do you guys have any final questions, comments, concerns? You guys want me to take a look at any tickers before I leave? So just to recap, tomorrow we're going to be doing our accumulation distribution part 2. So if you guys are familiar with that video on YouTube, I'm going to be making a part 2 to that video, which I should have made a year ago. We're going to be doing that tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to be doing a market structure video. So I'm going to do a video talking about like the basics of trading higher lows, lower highs, looking for just basic trends, stuff like that. We're going to be talking about that on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll do a laddering, DCA, martingale, pyramiding. We'll talk about all those different techniques to enter and exit trades. So that'll be Thursday. And then Friday, we'll probably just do a regular stream. We'll do a recap. We'll look at Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatnot. Just do a standard stream on Friday. So that's our goal for this week. That's what we're going to be doing. As always, all those are going to be posted on YouTube. So if you guys missed the streams, they'll be available on YouTube. You guys will have the full stream if you want to watch the full thing, or if you just want to watch the condensed version of the video, that'll be on YouTube as well. But all right, guys, that's our schedule. I'll try much harder to be on time tomorrow. I'm not going to the gym tomorrow, so it should be a lot easier. So our stream will probably be closer to normal time tomorrow, around 3:30. I'll let you guys know on Twitter, as always, before I go live. But all right, guys, really appreciate you guys being here. Sticky, once again, appreciate the sub. Anybody who followed, anybody who subscribed, thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys tomorrow around 3:30 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a good night. Peace out, guys.